You're listening to a podcast from Glenstone Abbey.
Hello, and welcome to our podcast on the Rule of St. Benedict. I am Brother Oscar, and in this session I will explore Chapter 31 of the Rule, which focuses on the role of the cellarer within the monastery. The cellarer, also known as the bursar, plays a crucial role in accordance with the Rule of St. Benedict. Traditionally, the cellarer was responsible for managing the monastery's provisions, including food, drink, and other necessities. This included overseeing the cellar, pantry, and other storage areas. However, in modern times, you're more likely to find the cellarer working behind a computer, rather than in the pantry. Thomas Merton, in his Conferences to Novices at Gethsemane, suggests that Benedict's description of the cellarer represents the ideal monk. It is my hope that you may find this reflection on the role of the cellarer helpful on your path to holiness. Let's delve into the rule. As the cellarer of the monastery, let there be chosen from the community someone who is wise, of mature character, sober, not a great eater, not haughty, not excitable, not offensive, not slow, not wasteful, but a God-fearing man who may be like a father to the whole community. Let him have charge of everything. He shall do nothing without the abbot's orders, but keep to his instructions. Let him not vex the brethren. If any brother happens to make some unreasonable demand of him, instead of vexing the brother with a contemptuous refusal, he should humbly give the reason for denying the improper request. Let him guard over his own soul, mindful always of the apostle's saying that he who has ministered well acquires for himself a good standing. Let him take the greatest care of the sick, of children, of guests, and of the poor, knowing without doubt that he will have to render an account for all these on the day of judgment. Let him regard all the utensils of the monastery and its whole property as if they were the sacred vessels of the altar. Let him not think that he may neglect anything. He should be neither a miser nor a prodigal and a squanderer of the monastery's substance, but should do all things with measure and accordance with the abbot's instructions. In this passage, St. Benedict tells us that the cellarer should not be wasteful or a squanderer. Here we get a glimpse of the importance of sustainability in the monastic way of life. Monks prioritize sustainable, enduring, and long-lasting possessions. When faced with the choice between a solid, strong, and long-lasting chair and a throwaway, trendy one, monks will always choose the sustainable option. This reflects the fundamental attitude of monastic life, valuing items that stand the test of time. The concept of sustainability originated from forestry, aiming to strike a balance between cutting and preserving trees to maintain a healthy forest. Similarly, monks aim to use resources wisely, understanding that overconsumption harms both the environment and spiritual pursuits. St. Benedict's call for a sustainable lifestyle serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it discourages an obsession with material possessions and the constant pursuit of the latest trends, which can drain one's energy and distract from prayer and community life. Secondly, it considers the welfare of future generations. Monasteries plan, build, and organize with an eye on the future, ensuring that resources are not depleted recklessly, aligning with our vow of stability. Monasteries aim to preserve resources for the benefit of future generations, demonstrating respect for those who will come after. A balancing thought to all of this is while being mindful of resources, St. Benedict also asks the cellarer not to be slow, meaning if something is needed, don't dilly-dally. We shouldn't procrastinate, but if an item is needed, get it. In chapter 31, we have the beautiful instruction to treat all goods of the monastery as sacred vessels. How do you make a chalice? You make it sustainable, because it kind of mirrors eternity. The sacred vessels of the altar are made of precious materials. They are pieces of art. We treat them with respect, and we never waste them. Whether it's a car or a computer, kitchen utensils or gardening tools, everything is treated with respect because someone worked for it, someone paid for it, resources have been used for it. This perspective fosters an ethos of reverence and reduces wastefulness. When you keep items for a long time, you develop a unique relationship with them. Many people think monks should not be attached to things, and while this is true, having a relationship with a chair or a book isn't a bad thing. Monks value the repair and maintenance of items over constant consumption and disposal. This active approach fosters creativity and a deeper connection with the objects that surround us, akin to the reverence shown to sacred vessels. In Glenstal, Father Senan repairs and maintains our library books in the book bindery. And while many of us know how to sew on a button, Brother Podrick is on hand to help with our more complicated tailoring needs. This way of living, emphasizing sustainability and responsible resource management, naturally slows down the pace of life. Visitors and members of the wider monastic community often observe a slower pace of life here. This slow way of living is rooted in long-term thinking. Instead of chasing the latest trends, a sustainable perspective values stability and lasting quality, leading to a more deliberate and meaningful way of life. The central message of St. Benedict's Rule is to regard every person, every utensil, and every object as sacred vessels entrusted to us with care and reverence, as if they were destined for God's altar. This perspective transforms our worldview. We are not here solely to satisfy our own needs and desires, but to treat all people and possessions with respect, love, and care, recognizing that they are entrusted to our care by Christ Himself. This way of life elevates each moment of our lives, making every day as holy and significant as Sunday morning. The Benedictine worldview is a call to be gentle toward others, the earth, our possessions, and ourselves. Recognizing that we are deeply loved by God, We should treat ourselves with reverence and care, respecting the inherent value in all things, because, as the saying goes, God doesn't make junk.